Hi, it's Laura again at Hyperstamper. Today's antique junk journal is this sweet, adorable book from the 1930s called A Garden of Stories. I've actually made about 5 or 6 junk journals over the past 3 years with this same book. And they're very popular, and I think it's because these little children here are just so sweet. And this one is actually a really, it's in bad condition, obviously, because it's almost 100 years old, but all the letters are still intact. The image here of the little girl and boy walking through the garden with their flowers is still perfectly intact. The leaves on the trees, it's just so lovely. I did have to do a lot of repair to the spine, so I covered up my repairs, and I did add all of these beautiful vintage beads here to match the cover. So before I put it in my Etsy shop, I want to show you each page so I can tell you the history of each authentic antique and vintage piece and all of the dozens of inserts that I've added. It's just chock full of surprises right through to the last page. So it's the original first page of the book. And then here's another one of these wonderful 1950s baby cards. And I just love it. You can journal on the inside. There's a little split there, natural split. And I think that was meant to pop out, and it's absolutely adorable. And then I have one of my 1920s flinch cards here, number 3. If you purchase any of my journals, you can always make a special request to add something or change something in it. I'm happy to do that. This is one of my favorite things. I only have a few left. This is the Queen Bess pins that's made in England. Very rare, and with the feather paper and the embossed. It's absolutely exquisite. It's believed that it's from early 1900s, between 10 and 20. And this is one of the only ones that has all the pins there. So that's a real treat and a valuable little piece, actually. It's a 1937 student's homework page and a vintage ledger page. And this is just a really fun, colorful play to these folks dancing inside of a pub. And that is from the late 1800s. This here is just an extra little journaling space here, and that's from 1950s university yearbook. I believe this one is Rochester. And then here is just the front page of an antique book, just blank on both sides, so great for journaling. And here is a plate, 2 cats on a roof, and another one here watching them scream at each other. I just thought it was kind of whimsical. Some vintage lace there, and this is a beautiful 1923 map of India and Indochina. Beautiful colors, really good condition, and just really a fun piece. Antique paper here, vintage music sheet here, and then this was what was left of the spine when I received the book. So I just added it there as a page topper. That's from the 1800s there. This is just a really fun piece from a 1940 newspaper. Little advertisement of the vanity set. And children's book page from the 30s. And a beautiful piece of vintage crochet here. This is a vintage tree book page, Trees of North America. Fun cluster piece here. And Rosamond here, and that is from the early 1900s, 1913. And then this is a 1936 Paris, France almanac, full page spread, really fun piece. Look at this photograph here. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh, just gorgeous. It's a really special one. And then this here is the interior spine of this book. And what I love about it, it has the cross stitching here with the fabric, and then it's got a colored interior spine, which is hard to find. So I really like that rainbow effect there. Got some vintage Chantilly lace, 1950s doily making magazine page, a little ballerina up there. And then this is from 1920s. And this here is really cool. This is 1940 from a giant magazine. This is Farm and Home Improvement Contest for 1940. Isn't that great? Look at all the houses that won there. It's got the original mailing label on there. And then on the back, just a really cool era telling stories. And then this is a beautiful antique page here. This is from a 50s graduation, huge graduation board with all the little portraits. Look at the ladies' hairdos. Those are actual beehives. I think there are actually bees living in that hairdo. Big hair, big hair. Vintage children's book there with antique paper on the back for journaling. And this is really kind of fun here. Another 1940 page, and this one is how to make chocolate cake advertisement. And here is a cold medicine. Look at this apple recipe on the back. I'd actually like to try it. I took a picture of it before I put it in here. So why not? I always encourage people to try the recipes they find in my journals from 100 years ago. You can't go wrong. Here is an early 1920s children's book page, and I just really like the maze on there, so I included that. Really fun texture here. This is an antique book cover that I turned into a journaling tag. And then on the opposite page here is just a vintage pad of note paper cover, and then also 1920s antique paper in the back, 1950s yearbook page there that I turned into a crossover pocket. And look at this here. This is from one of the teen magazines from the 50s. If I can open it, those are just advertisements there, but it's got all the words to some of the songs that were a big hit at that time. And yeah, how about that? Very cool. And then over here is one of these 1800s marbled pieces that came from a German book. And a really fun plate there. This is from 1904, the first page of the Freckles book, which I love. 1927, a little photograph here from the 20s, the building. And this is one of my rare Arborite double-sided salesman samples. And this is from the actual Arborite company. I know the name is carried through, but we've got coral on one side and chartreuse on the other side. And then this is from the early 1900s here, another journaling card. And so is this pocket for a math book. More doily making, vintage bird, bookkeeping, teaching book here, vintage Monopoly money, 100-year-old banknote, and a really cool tag that I made. And then that brings us to one of the last plates in the book, and that is from 1904, English Countryside. Look at that view. That could be from today. It is absolutely spectacular. And I put some lace here. That's not vintage. And that brings us to the end. So I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. You can find that in my Etsy shop along with other journals at hyperstamper.etsy.com. Don't forget to subscribe and come back soon. Bye for now.